Alright YouTube and Fallout community, so today guys we are discussing whether or not Bethesda is working on a Fallout MMO. Now this is actually a subject I've talked about a few times on my channel, as have probably most Bethesda Fallout based channels. It's a very popular idea and a very popular subject because this, if they did it right, could potentially be one of the best games ever made because we all love Fallout. It's fun to talk about Fallout with your friends. Can you imagine actually playing Fallout with your friends? Well, iDigital Times released an article just a few hours ago discussing this very subject with a little bit of info that hints towards this being a possibility, so let's read over it. After releasing Fallout 4 and Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition, Bethesda has teased it is working on something new. According to job listings, that something new may be an online multiplayer game. While the job listings are real, it should be noted that everything else is pure speculation. As found on the ZeniMax website, Bethesda is looking to hire a senior core tech engineer. This is a fairly high-ranking position that helps maintain, optimize, and extend Bethesda's core engine technology. While this sounds like a standard position for any game, the desired skills section gives some clues about what this person would be hired to work on. The biggest clue pointing to what this mystery game could be is the bullet point, experience developing for online multiplayer environment. This pretty much proves that whatever game Bethesda is working on next will have some sort of multiplayer component to it. The job listings for a senior server engineer and a back-end services engineer also back up the claim that some sort of multiplayer is coming. So what could this be? According to interviews with Bethesda's Todd Howard and Pete Hines, we know the developer is working on two new AAA experiences, and neither of them are Elder Scrolls 6. Given how adamant the studio is about not working on Elder Scrolls 6, it's likely this is true. If you want to dig way back, you may also remember that Bethesda was in a legal battle with Interplay over the rights to a Fallout MMO. The issue was finally settled in 2012 with ZeniMax CEO Robert Altman saying, "While we strongly believe in the merits of our suits, we are pleased to avoid the distraction and expense of litigation while completely resolving all claims to the Fallout IP. Fallout is an important property of ZeniMax, and we are now able to develop future Fallout titles for our fans without third-party involvement or the overhang of others' legal claims." This is why a Fallout-related MMO would make the most sense from Bethesda. Copying the success of Elder Scrolls Online, which is getting a big update on June 6th, a Fallout Online could maintain the base building aspects of Fallout 4 while giving players the opportunity to explore a vast new wasteland. This is actually something I've talked about in the past when discussing this subject, is with Fallout 4 introducing the settlement mode, that's like the easiest way to transition into some kind of multiplayer, because you could have just kind of a Minecraft type thing with Fallout now, because you could have your friends come in and help you build bases and shit, and that's what they could do with this MMO. Of course there'd be more to it if it's an actual MMO, not just based on settlements, but base building is the main thing that they could do. As for whatever is coming, we'll probably be given a teaser or two on June 11th when Bethesda hosts its annual pre-E3 press event. Called Bethesda Land this year, tickets will be available soon and the event will be live streamed for those who cannot make it. More details on tickets and a schedule of events will be coming closer to the event. And they go on to ask the question, so what do you think? Do these clues point to a Fallout MMO, and do you think Bethesda is working on something else? As for whether or not I believe that they are working on a Fallout MMO, I'm of the mindset that they are going to make it eventually. I just hope that they make it sooner rather than later. But as for whether or not we're going to see it this year, there's no, I'm always hopeful. I don't know if we are. There's no really way to guess that. The fact that they're looking for somebody who helps build multiplayer worlds, that could just be that they're looking for somebody to help build a bigger world, because they might want to make, the biggest map they've ever made for, say, Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 5 or whatever the next game might be. But it does lean towards the fact that it might be an MMO. While there are plenty of post-apocalyptic MMOs these days, and really just more MMOs than there's ever been, I think a Fallout-based one could bring something new to the table. It'll be similar to a lot of them because it has the the first-person shooter aspect of all that shit. You can go third-person if you want to as well, but you have all the lore of Fallout. Fallout's been out since the first Fallout was released in '97, so it's 20 years old this year. You have 20 years of fucking lore that you can do for multiple games and stories and shit. Explore new locations. People have been wanting, Fallout based in different countries and shit. They could actually do that with this because you could just, fast travel to these locations. Take a boat or a plane to get there, however you want to do it. And you can explore a bunch of new locations without having to make a bunch of standalone games. They could also incorporate this survival mode from, you know, either New Vegas or Fallout 4, however you want to do it. Maybe dumb it down a little bit so it's not as strong as it was in Fallout 4, but make it mandatory for the game so it really becomes a post-apocalyptic survival game where you actually have to forage for food and supplies and shit like that, and then people can come along, kill you, steal your supplies, or you can do it to them, whatever you want to do, or you guys could team up and attack other groups of players. Like, how fun could this fucking be, right? This is one of the games I would be most hyped for if they announced it. I'll leave you guys with the same questions that Digital Times asked. Do you think that these clues point towards a Fallout MMO, or do you think Bethesda is working on something altogether separate? Anyways, guys, leave your stuff in the comments below. If you went on to enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Follow me on Twitter. Links to my social networks are in the description. And the outro. Later, guys.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake, 'cause I don't fucking care.